The role of the older brother in a family is often underestimated. On the surface, it may seem simple, he was just born first. But in reality, being the older brother can shape a person's psychology in very specific and sometimes intense ways. The position a child holds in the family strongly influences how they think, behave, and see themselves. And the older brother often grows up with a unique combination of responsibility, pressure, and expectations. So what is the psychology of an older brother? From an early age, the older brother is usually treated differently. Parents often have higher expectations for the first child. They may expect him to behave better, to be more responsible, and to set an example. Even if this is not said directly, the child can feel it. Over time, this creates a sense of responsibility that becomes part of his personality. Because of this, older brothers often develop a strong sense of duty. They feel like they need to take care of younger siblings, protect them, and sometimes even guide them. This can be a positive trait, as it builds leadership skills and reliability. But at the same time, it can also create internal pressure. Another important factor is that older brothers often experience responsibility earlier than others. While younger siblings may be allowed to make mistakes more freely, the older brother is often expected to know better. This can lead to faster emotional maturity. He may learn to control his behavior, think before acting, and take consequences more seriously. However, this early maturity can come at a cost. Sometimes older brothers feel like they did not have as much freedom to be careless or relaxed. They may feel like they had to grow up too quickly. This can lead to a more serious personality or a tendency to suppress emotions. Another psychological aspect is the idea of being a role model. Younger siblings often look up to the older brother. They may copy his behavior, habits, and even attitudes. Knowing this, the older brother may feel like he is constantly being watched or judged. This can make him more careful about his actions. In some cases, this creates a strong sense of discipline. The older brother learns to behave in a way that sets a good example. But in other cases, it can create pressure and anxiety, especially if he feels like he cannot make mistakes. There is also an interesting dynamic in how parents treat the first child compared to the others. Parents often make more mistakes with their first child because they are still learning how to be parents. They may be more strict, more anxious, and more controlling. By the time younger siblings are born, parents are usually more relaxed. As a result, older brothers often grow up in a more controlled environment, while younger siblings may have more freedom. This difference can shape personality. The older brother may become more disciplined and cautious, while younger siblings may be more relaxed or spontaneous. Another psychological factor is competition. In some families, there is a natural comparison between siblings. The older brother may feel the need to maintain his position as the example or the successful one. This can create a strong drive to achieve and to prove himself. At the same time, if younger siblings succeed or receive more attention, the older brother may feel overlooked or underappreciated. This can lead to hidden frustration or a desire to regain recognition. Older brothers often develop leadership qualities. Because they are used to guiding younger siblings, they may feel more comfortable taking responsibility in other areas of life. They may become natural leaders in school, work, or social groups. They are often more confident in making decisions and taking initiative. However, leadership does not always mean confidence. In some cases, the pressure of responsibility can lead to self-doubt. The older brother may feel like he always needs to be strong, even when he is struggling internally. Another important aspect is emotional expression. Older brothers may learn to hide their emotions more than younger siblings. Because they are expected to be strong and responsible, they may feel like showing vulnerability is not acceptable. Over time, this can create difficulty in expressing feelings openly. At the same time, this does not mean they do not feel deeply. In fact, older brothers can be very protective and caring. They may not always express it directly, but their actions often show it. They may support their siblings quietly, help them when needed, and stay loyal even in difficult situations. There is also a psychological connection between older brothers and independence. Because they are often given responsibility early, they may learn to rely on themselves more. They may become more independent in their decisions and actions. This can be a strong advantage later in life. However, this independence can sometimes turn into isolation. If someone is used to handling everything alone, they may find it difficult to ask for help or share their problems with others. Another interesting point is that older brothers often remember family dynamics differently. They experience the family before younger siblings are born. They may remember a time when they had all the attention. When siblings arrive, they must adjust to sharing that attention. This transition can shape how they see relationships and attention. Some older brothers adapt easily, while others may feel a sense of loss or jealousy, even if they do not express it openly. It is also important to understand that not all older brothers are the same. Personality is influenced by many factors, including parenting style, family environment, culture, and individual differences. Some older brothers become very responsible and serious, while others may resist expectations and become more independent or even rebellious. What makes the psychology of an older brother interesting is the combination of responsibility and pressure. They are often expected to lead, protect, and succeed, while also managing their own development. In the end, being an older brother is not just a position in the family. It is a role that shapes personality over time. It can create strength, discipline, and leadership, but it can also bring pressure, emotional restraint, and high expectations. Understanding this helps explain why older brothers often seem more serious, more responsible, or more controlled. Behind that behavior is a long process of adapting to expectations and learning to carry responsibility from a young age. And that is the key idea: the first position in the family often shapes not just behavior, but the way a person sees themselves and their place in the world.